Good morning, Gardenia! Yeah, that's not a special effect. That's technical difficulties. We've got some new signal interference because we're talking to aliens on Friday. Happy Friday. It is fabulous being a Freedom Friday, Good News Friday. We've got the good news in human optimization, the cutting edge of human optimization, of tech innovation, of space exploration, of alien life. No, it wasn't aliens. I just woke up this way. Whoa, geez, that's funny. I was sitting backstage before we went live and everything was fine. We go live and now we have signal interference. That's a first. But yeah, we've got some alien life stories. We got some UFO stories, and a lot of cool understanding nature, including the most poisonous octopus in the world. And we have a guest today. Jay Nygaard joins us. It's Friday, so we have our alternative energy good news segment, but we also get to talk about him coming out here tomorrow. He's going to be here in Gardenia. That's right, Jay Nygaard, the turbine guy. Wow. Yeah, Jay Nygaard, the turbine guy, is going to be here tomorrow, driving down from, I always get Minnesota and Michigan's states confused. One of those like states where it's so cold that people aren't really supposed to live. But yeah, he's driving down. He's like a few hours away today. He's going to be calling in maybe from Colorado. And, or as I found out yesterday, as the locals call it, Colorado, because it's rad like that. And so he'll be joining us top of the hour, give us an update on what we have planned here for Gardenia tomorrow. It is Saturday, so we don't have a show, but we might be posting some videos. We might be doing a little live stream with Jay describing the job, putting in a wind turbine, adding it to my off-grid solar power system. So I'm psyched about this, and I'm sorry I've been a little behind for the Producers Club getting a video with an update on the cabin, and I really should do more pictures for the Gardenia Instagram page. But I get the thing we're building here is really exciting. As like I'm building a cabin, I'm building a practical off-grid, and calling it a cabin is almost underselling it, but it's like a full featured one-bedroom house with an awesome deck and yada yada. I'm learning electrical, I'm learning drywall and insulation, and things I'm gonna talk about this every day it comes up because goddamn it still pisses me off doing the electric for this cabin, putting in a breaker box and normal outlets and wall switches. Like I never done that before this project, and they make you think that you're going to kill yourself, and it's working with electricity is a lot easier than the professionals would have you believe, and the government then wants you to apply for licensing and pay for permits, and it's like, no, it's really not that hard. YouTube University, but even there, like it's weird. They don't make it easy. They don't make it obvious. But we figured it out for the most part. We have a fully functional home electric system in the cabin. All we need now is a bathroom. Yeah, that'd be nice. We've got it all planned out for a full bathroom, and it should be coming together in time for the first Homefront Battle Buddies board member formation organizational retreat, April 30, May 2nd. Really excited about that. So hold on to your butts if you're coming. It's going to be fun. And then, since it's Friday, we are joined by co-host Bina Vinoan, and in honor of it being 5 a.m. where she is, that she has to get up in order to do the show, I thought, in solidarity, I would look like I do at 5 a.m. this morning.
Okay. We can play that game too.
This is what
I'm coming on with my hair and rollers or some shit like that, and I'm gonna come in my muumuu, my Hawaiian muumuu nightgown. Yeah.
Well, I love you've got your sunrise shot set up again. For those who didn't catch last week's FINA Friday, you got to see the sunrise from the darkness through the window behind her over the course of 2 hours. Really cool how we've got the show timed that way.
Yeah. Aloha, everyone. How are you doing? So I want to tell you guys about the comment contest today, and I've been watching this week, and I haven't been doing my Adam quotes of the day. I've got my cousin's in town, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the comment contest today is the best anti-man comment. Like, give it to the man comment. That's what I want to hear. This is Adam versus the man. Fuck the man.
Not anti-men, anti-the man.
Yeah, the man, right? The man.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see what pans out, but the man, fuck the man comments, right? So, Adam, I want to share this little piece with you because you came out to Hawaii and you had to take, your COVID test and everything to come out here. So, a lot of you guys don't know me very well. And I come from a family that works hard, that works really hard to get what they have, and most of my family don't have much. And so I had a cousin come out here, to Hawaii because airfare was cheap and everything. She did everything she was supposed to do. She went to the CVS store and got her COVID test and got all the way here to Hawaii in the airport. And she got the wrong test. And she's on a 14-day quarantine. She don't have time to come out here for 14 days. She came out here for a week. So she has to spend the whole week inside my house. How sad is that? I mean, I've got a nice house. I live in a nice neighborhood and everything, but you don't come to Hawaii to watch Netflix. You come to Hawaii to get out on the beach, see the sights,
I'm actually a little bit surprised they let her fly with the wrong COVID test.
Yep, they let her fly, and the whole plan was just completely washed. Everything that we'd want to do this week gone. They called me while she was at the airport after they land and was explaining to me the quarantine procedures as if I was 12 years old and never been told what how to stay at home by myself. And so yeah, she took the antibody COVID test so she went to the right places. She downloaded the right apps and everything. And this wasn't just her, but she brought her daughter with her and her daughter's boyfriend. So this was a family thing.
One of the things that I had to do with the apps was I actually had to upload my COVID test to the state of Hawaii government, whatever, before coming out. Was that not? She did that, and they didn't go, hey, by the way, go get a different test.
It was the wrong test. And here's the thing that really upsets me is that she was not allowed. They weren't allowed to get the test once they arrived. Once they arrived, they should have been allowed to get the test. Right now, it is in the news here in Hawaii that $30 million worth of COVID tests in Hawaii are about to expire. Yet we have visitors that come in here. They're wanting to spend tourist dollars and stimulate the economy. They're not allowed to leave a house now. They could have used those COVID tests. They could have had those at the airport for people coming off the planes. Yeah. Make it a place of solutions instead of a place of problems.
I know we're supposed to be talking about good news, but yeah, it is worth pondering. You got me on some big thoughts real quick here to see if I can get through them. But there's so many major gaps in the COVID narrative. For anybody to trust government at this point, you really have to have your head up your ass, because I got a test. I don't know if everybody remembers this, but last March or April-ish, I got a test in the mail that was a blood prick test where you have the results in 15 minutes. And you prick your finger, you get a little blood, and you drop it on the blotter paper and put saline on it, and it carries your blood across the reactive stripes like a pregnancy test. It's just like, you except that you're using, instead of urine flowing, where it needs to on the paper to make a plus or a minus, you have blood, and you use the saline to dilute it across the test strip. And the reason I got one was that they were giving them out to promote among libertarian media personalities, because they were about to be approved for FDA use. And this was a test that was available in other countries. And you go, and they're making everybody wait 3 days to 2 weeks to get nasal swab test results that have a higher false negative and false positive rate. There's just like, you're like, there's no good like, they can make excuses and say, well, we did this or we did that, but like, no. And this is why you can't let government decide these things. The other thing is, you made me a little nostalgic mentioning the man earlier, to remind everyone of our comment contest today.
Mm-hmm.
And the name Adam versus the Man, my first producer came up with that, Dustin DeLellis, who has since disappeared from society, like lives not just like off grid, but like checked out, right? Like, and I don't know. I haven't like followed up on him for a while, but you got me thinking about him. He's the one that produced as a radio show the first version of Adam versus Man on AM 1550 KIVA, more positive talk radio, Albuquerque. And since then, like that, the theme has been appropriate. It has a weird leftist connotation that most people don't know, that like Stick It to the Man came out of genuinely leftist oriented political movements of the 60s, I believe.
It came from unions. It came from unions.
Oh yeah, right. So well, yeah, and then popularized, right, with like hippies and anti-war, and it's, we'll stick it to the man. But yeah, I think you're right. Before that, unions. I mean, it's one of those terms that it's not like that's when they started it, because it's always like, oh, the man, like, well, someone said that and didn't think twice about it, like pretty soon after the word man was invented, but the theme of the man, like, is does not have a political bias, and it's a cheesy way of referring to the powers that be, right? So who is the man? I mean, let me ask you, since you brought it up in the comment contest, who is the man?
Who's the man? Okay, so I used to in the military.
Man.
Okay, when I was in the military, I always said I work for the man, right? Because that's the government. To me, the man is whoever your boss is. It doesn't matter if your boss is a woman. Who they represent is like some corporate oligarchy. When I imagine the man, I imagine the man being somebody that, was, when I watched, well, I look at the news and, you're kind of forced into some celebrity gossip stuff, right? So what was it last week that the Prince of England got some tech CEO job? Like, does he have a
Prince Harry? No, it's like information.
I don't care. Can you imagine if I tried to go for that job? What kind of credentials I would have to have? What kind of credentials do you have to have?
Oh, it's obvious. It's obviously I mean, not that he's an idiot. But
right. No, I'm not saying that. But what's his resume look like?
Yeah, but it's obviously he's getting hired for them to get his PR benefit.
Mm-hmm. I get that, but it's that kind of idea of, someone getting hired based off of how they were born, the kind of situation they were born into, something they didn't like by choices, by actions, acquire the title of, right? So that's what I imagine.
So to you, the man was the government behind the military?
Yeah, I guess. Well, maybe like for me, the man was just the whole system of the military, because like the military is special. Like you can't blame one person for anything in the military. It's a blaming of like at least 5 people, like there's all this oversight, like you don't just get to blame one person in the military unless it was like, a situation that you and I were both in where, we're directly over someone that is not in the military or not on the same status as any general military person. So that's all I'm saying about that. That's the man. That's who I think the man is.
So there are a couple different ways to look at this term, and I haven't for a while, and it's one that I think we should use more in the show because there is like in the intellectual abstract, to me, the man is a way of referring to the powers that be, like all of the major the super class, like the 3,225 billionaires in the
Ooh,
world.
what was that Nietzsche called it? The superhuman. Like if you were saying, yes, there we go. That's
no, but that's something else. That's a different concept, I think, or at least Nietzsche's concept of the Übermenschen.
I know, but still,
man,
like
you got me thinking about another ERB reference. This is Epic Rap Battles of History.
When you talking about assembling a human out of all the best parts and all the most cunning parts.
They haven't. There's one of my favorite epic rap battles of history is Eastern philosophers versus Western philosophers, and it's Sun Tzu, Lao Tzu, and Confucius versus Socrates,
Aristotle,
Nietzsche, and Aristotle. No, it's a different.
Not Aristotle.
Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, maybe. No, anyway. And there's a line from it's Voltaire. Voltaire. They do a story. It's not all, it's so Socrates, Voltaire, and Nietzsche. And there's a line like
interesting combination.
Because I am so driven. But no, there's about this term, the man. In the abstract, it's Adam versus the man. What is this show? We're taking on the powers that be as a whole, and it's not, and that is not masculine or feminine, but there's something in the language, and Fina, as a woman, you get to like blame men for so much legitimately. By the way, women don't know what to blame men for. Like men get blamed by women all the time for the dumbest, pettiest shit. Hello, we're mostly responsible for war and statism and like the majority, like people will find a way to blame women for this, but no, like there has not been a woman president yet. Women should be proud of that fact, So, but there's something about the man and that term that is directly puncturing the male flavored arrogance of, well, I'm the man and I'm the one in charge around here. It's like, oh, you're the man, huh? Yeah, you're the man. You're the man, all right. And it's in and of itself, that gives it a very righteous way of speaking to an unhealthy part of the human psyche that is a sort of male dominated psychological phenomena, or more part of the male psyche than the female psyche of wanting to stand on the tallest rock and look down at other people and be in charge of shit just because you're the man, not because you're serving humanity, not because you're like legitimately
nurture, though. How much of that do you think is nature versus nurture? I mean, you can raise a woman to want to stand on the top of the mountain and want to achieve things and be successful. Do you think that we treat men in a way that makes them able to do that? Or do you think that we treat women in a way that makes it harder for them to do that, or less acceptable for them to do that?
It's both. I think it's a lot of both, but since it's Good News Friday, especially, let's fit this into the story of human progress, shall we?
It doesn't matter if a man's a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. You know who the man is. Fuck the man. That's the comment contest.
All right, no, but okay. Last thought on this, I think. Yeah, I mean, you're right to point those things out, and hold on.
I want to give you one more thing. Okay, so the man. I'm gonna tell you who the man is. The man is evil. The man is bad. The man is the person that's able to stand in front of a bunch of unarmed people with their guns and gun them down. And the man is the one that cheers them on. And And that's happening in Ethiopia. And that's who I imagine is like the worst part of the man, is that capability to do that. And regardless, it doesn't matter if they're men or women, what their ugly bits are. That is human. Those are humans. You know, and so any man that has a lack of humanity, or it doesn't have to be man, human, any human with a lack of humanity is the man.
And manifest that being the man.
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. So we'll have some fun with the comment contest today. And it is so wait. I want to finish the thought of fitting this in to the positive narrative, because this I think is important, because this is a male, and to really properly answer your question, but this is a male dominated driven psychological phenomena of aggressive control that we see, at least, and you can make the case that women are just as aggressive and controlling in different ways, controlling men in personal relationships. I totally get that analysis. I'm not trying to deny that. Now, there is a sort of, some things are kind of, inherently equal between two different things in that relationship, but not necessarily in the realm of violence and statism and control. Those that and society can nurture negative tendencies in humans to serve the man, right? The man wants you to be subservient and obedient and to be a good, reliable worker that they can exploit, right? So I say the man, and then I gender neutralize it sometimes as they, right? But there's a
who's they?
you can say that right now, in terms of like, because we covered high school renamings, right? There's an objection, like Hispanic students don't want to rename the slaveholder Thomas Jefferson High School the Barack and Michelle Obama High School, because they were not friends of immigrants in America with their policy, and kids in cages, which are still a thing. But it's like, wait, why are we naming high schools after leaders of government as opposed to leaders in education? Oh, because we want our children to glorify the state. We want them to think that the purpose of their education, the highest aspiration, the best person they could be, would be a male who has been president of the United States. And if you look at actual, like, even taking out male, female, professional, whatever disadvantages, you go to successful leaders in education and innovation in education, you get more women than you do in politics, historically speaking, I think. Very unscientific observation, obviously. But so that innate human desire to be the man that is in all of us, the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. That wasn't Nietzsche, but someone else, famous philosopher. But that while those tendencies have always been with us and they are being channeled towards statism now, the story of human history is us overcoming the worse, weaker parts of human nature, the darker parts, and evolving into the light. If that's not too crazy spiritual a way of describing it, but yes, if there are dark parts of your mind that are inherent to your humanity, in fact, you're an animal, but then you realize that as conscientious human beings, we evolve in so many other beautiful ways, getting past this tendency, this inclination to be the man. That's one of the beautiful things of human progress. And I would still say, looking at the broader scope of human progress and the general paradigm and the culture and broader psychology, people are becoming what makes you the man? Insecurity, fear, right? People are getting therapy, and insecure assholes don't grow up to be president anymore. Kind of nice. I like to put it in progress terms that way. Okay, so what are you smoking this morning, Fina?
I'm smoking
studio bong.
I'm smoking a blunt. I done smoked a bowl. I was just about to ask.
It was playing for Fina. I'm not ready for the music.
I was like, Jim, where's the song?
He's on it this morning, so he wants to show everybody that he's on it. He's getting, like, every time we mention weed or like the bong enters the frame of the shot, Yeah, like that. DJ Jim is on duty today, executive producer.
DJ
Are you,
Jim in the
are you,
house.
are you smoking with us this morning, Jim?
Where'd he go?
I got a little something here. Oh, look at Peanut taking controls of the buttons. Oh, now we ain't got no.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
If I hear weed blowing, you know, I figured we should push it back.
Smoke weed every day. If you ready for the next episode.
Man, is that semi-professional speaking now?
That's
The
a pretty
aliens are
professional transition into the show notes real quick, into the promos. So I'll do what I can with that. If you'd like to join the Telegram chat that we have a public Telegram chat that everyone in the world, everyone on the planet that is not the man is invited to. If you're the man, you can come in, but you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Hey,
eventually.
Jim,
I'm not
don't be
I'm
an
not-
asshole, okay? We don't want to discriminate or limit ourselves or make aliens feel unwelcome in our Telegram group.
Okay.
You gotta win.
Aliens
You
are
gotta win
welcome.
to get in the producers club, though. That's my
If there
thing.
are any aliens tuning in from another planet and they're somehow receiving our signal, then we want them to know that they're welcome.
They
Yeah.
are always receiving the signal. Get the hair back.
Right. I should not
and if
have
you guys
limited
wanna
it to our
If you
rock
guys want to
button
be
space.
interviewed for Adam versus the Man, just send our booker, Marcus Pulis, an email, marcus@thefreedomline.com. Any alien, anytime, that's a standing invitation for guests on the show, just like we have for libertarians, right? If you're any kind of serious, credible libertarian candidate for anything, you're welcome to come on Adam versus the Man at any time. Alien.
If you happen to be an alien, we'll start a brand new show right now, live, whatever time you're convenient.
Yeah, what time zone are you in there?
Right.
It is 5:43 in the AMs. Let's see.
So you can join that public channel, or you can check out our super awesome website, adamversustheman.com. And once you're there, that website pretty much has everything you need. You can click on Patreon if you don't want to bother with winning the contest today because you think you're not witty enough to come up with the greatest answer, then just buy yourself access. $10 a month gets you access into that private producers club chat on Telegram. Very awesome. Get yourself involved. After that, click back, go to the website, check out the shop that CJ has put together. We got everything you can think of, from hats, shirts, backpacks, towels, hip sacks. You can get the Adam versus the Man show logo. You can get the Freedom logo. It's your choice. You can really customize it and check out everything we have there. It's definitely worth checking out. All better patrons and Producers Club members get 15% off of all their merchandise and free shipping. So that's definitely a plus. Order and go crazy. After that, you can go to the top and check out the Cigar Federation. It's this little button right here. To our affiliate program, they're going to offer you all the cigars that you could possibly want ever. You can order them in stock. You can order them one box at a time to try all the different flavors. Use promo code ADAM10 to get 10% off your entire order there, no matter what you order. So that's an awesome deal. Definitely check that out and give it a look. Next in our list of promos is going to be what did I do with the page? Oh, I got them all mixed up. These are our friends that will be here today with GoGreenEnergyOnline.com. I need to get a text written for that, but that's it. www.GoGreenEnergyOnline.com. And they got micro wind power, zero energy homes. They got all kinds of links here with resources, how to get you self-sustaining and living off grid. So definitely check that out. One more thing we're mentioning these days is the Crypto 6. If you haven't heard of them, then visit thecrypto6.com. It's a real simple website that'll explain the situation, and they got all the links of ways that you can help to donate for their situation there, their legal fees and everything else. And lastly, last promotion we got is Instagram. You've heard of Instagram. If you're on it, then type in the hashtag @thegardenofreedom on Instagram, and you're going to see all kinds of neat pictures. If I can find it in my list of pages here, all kinds of neat pictures that are Adam and Gardenia up there in the sovereign land of Gardenia up north. Also, check out this flyer. He's always looking for special talent and people that want to get involved with anything he's got going on. So don't be afraid to reach out to him, the most reachable person on the planet. That's it. There you go. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, producer Jim. And I'm
We got
frozen
this.
again. But hey, let's jump into it.
Hey, we got.
Oh, hey, super chat.
There we go. Super chat. It's Collar. I think I'm so bad with pronunciation. You know what? I don't get mad at people when they fuck up my name first couple times. You know, I'm cool with it. But like, let me know if I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry. So thanks for the $2. Aliens for the ethical treatment of humans. I like that. Thank you.
Right on. All right. So I've shoehorned some weird stories into the human optimization section of the good news. These first two, it's like, after all that other interesting stuff about the man, this is going to be interesting. Studyfinds.org. Cover your mouth. Most people that feel they're being judged if they sneeze, cough in public now. I'm going to make this a quick one. But this is a new self-consciousness about this. And what's this is a good thing. This is a good sign that humans are kind and loving and caring. And what embarrasses them is that they might be risking hurting other people. It's not, I mean, yeah, of course there's some judgment. People get judged for all sorts of things. Why is this relevant? Well, if people are being judged or people are self-conscious for sneezing and coughing in public. And by the way, Jim's got the top thoughts. There's this infographic on there. Americans have the top thoughts Americans have when they have to sneeze or cough in public included. Great. Now people think I'm sick. 37%. That's sarcastic. Great. 29%. I promise I'm not sick. Denial. 27%. Hold it in. 24%. I hope I don't have snot in my mask. 24. It's just allergies, I swear. And that would be my case. Or it's pot. But all of this is driven by, I want people to make sure that they know that I'm not hurting them, that I'm not putting them at risk. And that's an amazing thing because it's only a matter of time before that's transferred to other things. And I know this is misguided, right? Like the fear of COVID is exaggerated, or the result of exaggeration, and that it's a misplaced. And it's a tragedy overall. It's a huge diversion of energy. But I keep seeing more silver linings in it. And, like people commuting for no good reason, commuting for the man, commuting to drive your car more. So not to enjoy it, but to sit in traffic and burn fossil fuels and have repair and maintenance costs for your vehicle. And so you can sit in a cubicle to work for the man. When you can, if you're going to work for the man, why do all this extra work making it uncomfortable to work for the man? At least now, and this is a transition just in job. It makes the man less of the man if it's not, I demand you come and sit in a cubicle where I can look over you and hold a cup of coffee and say, yeah, come in Saturday. That would be great. No, it's, okay, at least your labor is being valued properly and more efficiently because you don't have to go through the commute and the bullshit. So I think it's only a matter of time. Another, the silver lining in this and the self-consciousness of it. Well, if people are afraid of hurting people and being judged and being self-conscious about sneezing or coughing in public, it's only a matter of time before they realize that voting Republican or Democrat is way more dangerous than COVID. All right, our next headline, I told you we had another weird one here. Baby boy, first in the world to be born with 3 penises, doctors say. And there's so many good jokes about this, like, hey, having a penis is pretty awesome, how can having 3 penises not be 3 times as awesome? Well, in this case, we are talking about a tragic uh, medical malformation, an anomaly. And there's actually a very serious point here that this happened in Iraq. And one of the things, and I'm going to get really dark real quick, and then we'll get back to FINA Friday fun, good news stuff. But one of the things that has bothered me most about what we did in Fallujah in 2004 was the use of depleted uranium and white phosphorus. And if you have a strong stomach, you look into birth defects resulting from that around Fallujah. But that might have had nothing to do with this. But this is the first recorded case of anyone in the world being born with 3 penises. And there was a corrective surgery, and kids should be fine. So, not to make light of their delicate situation there, but this at least seems like it ended relatively well. And even if it didn't, I think we could find a way to make appropriate jokes about it. Popular mechanics for our next headline in human optimization. Humans will probably evolve to be venomous. Start warning your enemies. And I wonder, is this a good thing? Yeah. Scientists have found a shared genetic past for saliva and venom. This means venomous mammals and reptiles have a common ancestor. There are thousands of venom genes and thousands of venomous animals. And you think about I think about the comic book character Venom, like Spider-Man and Venom. But if you haven't seen, I'm going to do something I rarely do on this show, recommend a TV show. If you're into comic books, and MCU at all, or classic comics, I'm more actually of the classic comics childhood era than the Marvel comic universe movies. But I love them all, and I love the genre. And one recent example I enjoyed, thanks to my friend Eden, was a TV show called The Boys. There's only 2 seasons, and I guess bit of a spoiler alert. Although you find out pretty early on in this, that this is how the superheroes are not as as they say the company that runs the superhero business, bought. That they're born and chosen by God, but that they're actually injected with compound V, and that activates some, they don't explain too much of this, but human optimization that gives them all sorts of crazy powers. And it's funny to think that there is that a lot of superhero shit and comic books are essentially science fiction. And I would say, I would suggest that a lot of today's engineers and entrepreneurs and creative minds grew up with comic books or some similar kind of science fiction that challenged their thinking. And it's okay, I don't care if we skip a step. If Wolverine, how do you actually get super healing power and adamantium to, fuse to your skeleton? You just don't ask those questions and see the fun stuff that happens afterwards. And then back to reality, and your brain is in a different state of, how do I make incredible things happen? And jumping ahead like that. So this is kind of funny. Could future humans evolve to have venom glands? And new research scientists close a long open door by causally linking early salivary glands with what eventually became venom glands in many animals. Because saliva is the common thread, that means anyone with salivary glands could eventually develop venom, from mice in the new experiment all the way up to humans. First, the facts in the study, scientists from the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University and the Australian National University sought to answer an old question in evolutionary biology. How did venom glands evolve in animals? The researchers explained, quote, oral venom systems evolved multiple times in numerous vertebrates, enabling the exploitation of unique predatory niches. Yet how and when they evolved remains poorly understood. So they're not saying that there's something natural that's gonna like make you become venomous, but that hypothetically, if there, and there were some evolutionary advantage over time, and it's so here's actually using the word evolve scientifically properly, in that minor generations of gene expressions over generations slightly alter favorable outcomes for survival and reproduction. But I think humans have evolved already intellectually to the point where humans with venom wouldn't be at a significant advantage. It could happen. It could be just another variation, like different eye colors or skin tones or what have you. And then there's the venomous people over there. Uh, but yeah, that's many. There's so many. Like I want to say there's something in a futurist-based analysis that makes this impossible. It makes it like hypothetically possible, right? And to see that salivary glands and venom glands, and there's a connection. Yay! Look at we are all one, all living things. But the point we're at with technology, the evolutionary or reproductive advantage of having venom, there's no way that becomes a thing before we're making colonies on Mars. And well, who knows, maybe the Martian air triggers the expression of venom genes or something crazy. Ooh. All right, I'll stop there before I start writing an entire new comic book plot. So, interestingengineering.com. Next, really good news headline. New drug discovery could make regrowing teeth possible. A single administration of the antibody was able to generate a whole tooth in mice. Losing a tooth in adulthood could be hard since humans can only renew their teeth once in childhood after replacing the milk teeth with permanent teeth. We lose the tooth renewal capability, and currently, when any part of a tooth dies, it cannot be brought back to life except with fake teeth, which isn't really bringing it back to life, right? Scientists at Kyoto University and the University of Fukui have come up with a new study that offers some hope. According to the paper published in Science Advances, an antibody for one gene, uterine sensitization association gene 1, or USAG1, was able to stimulate tooth growth in animal studies. So a single administration could generate a whole tooth. The researchers state that the molecules behind tooth development were already known. The morphogenesis of individual teeth depends on the interaction of several molecules, including DMP or bone morphogenetic protein and WNT signaling. This is a little over my head. I'm like, where's the part where I get to fix every problem with my teeth perfectly easily? It's a long way off, but it's kind of like about time, and it's good to know that progress is being made on that front. SciPost.org with our next headline: case report, consumption of psilocybin containing mushrooms results in amelioration of OCD symptoms. This is a complicated way of saying, dude, do drugs, chill out a little. Case report, consumption of psilocybin. Yeah, if you do mushrooms, your OCD shit, your anxiety, your obsessiveness goes away. Yeah, no shit. Pot probably has the same effect. And I would dare say for a lot of people, carefully consumed alcohol, you can have similar positive mood adjusting effects, right? Excuse me. But now we have it in scientific language, irrefutably. You should do mushrooms if you have OCD, or if you have anxiety, or if you want to improve the function of your mind, or if you want to be more creative or more mentally attuned to your environment, or more at peace. And I guess if you're a human being, yeah, you probably want to do mushrooms. Approximately 2.3% of adults will suffer from symptoms of obsessive compulsive disorder at some point in their life. The disorder is characterized by intrusive, persistent thoughts and compulsive behaviors, and a substantial number of people don't respond well to standard treatment. A report recently published in the Journal of Psychoactive Drugs presents the case of a 30-year-old man who showed clinically significant reductions in treatment-resistant OCD symptoms after consuming psilocybin-containing mushrooms, more commonly known as magic mushrooms. The man had suffered from disabling symptoms even after treatment with a variety of medications, including antidepressants, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and ketamine. He was undergoing treatment at a clinic when he decided to take psychedelic mushrooms. The patient told medical professionals, he had consumed about 2 grams of dried mushrooms while at home. A friend was present to watch over him. The man did not report experiencing hallucinations, but did experience a sense of disassociation for about an hour. During this hour, his OCD symptoms completely disappeared. Despite being warned of the dangers of consuming the mushrooms, he continued to consume them about once every 2 weeks. Yeah, warning, this medicine might fucking work when all the pharmaceutical bullshit they've pushed on you has failed. Warning, you might not be paying off big pharma for the rest of your life with stuff that treats symptoms instead of cures. Prior to consuming psilocybin, the patient scored 35 on the Yale Brown OCD or obsessive compulsive scale test, indicating that he was suffering from extreme symptoms. 6 months after consuming psilocybin, the patient's score had dropped down to 13, indicating suffering only mild symptoms. Quote, his obsessive thoughts and compulsions had significantly been reduced, as well as the rumination, worry, and anxiety and checking behavior, the clinicians wrote in their case report. He is now able to perform most of his daily tasks and work without interruptions, meaningfully improving his well-being and quality of life. No shit. The patient continues his treatment while consuming the psilocybin-containing mushrooms as a therapeutic adjuvant. There's been growing interest in psilocybin, but scientists have only just begun to examine whether psilocybin can aid the treatment of OCD. A study published in 2006 found that psilocybin was associated with transient reductions in OCD symptoms, but the study was only meant as a first step and only examined 9 participants. Researchers at Yale and Heifer Research Institute are conducting a randomized placebo-controlled study to examine the effects of psilocybin on OCD. Yeah, it's about time. Realizing the potential of psilocybin for humanity is, dare I say, a big fucking deal. Los Angeles Times from Yahoo. Elon Musk wants to create his own city. Here's how that would work. Yeah, Elon Musk getting in on this game too. We got to check in with Elon every Friday. I think we have a couple more stories on him. The secluded beachside community of Boca Chica Village was once a haven for retirees, snowbirds, and outdoorsy people who enjoy dirt biking, fishing, or lounging near the water. Today, traffic backs up the long highway out of the unincorporated area that's now home to only about half a dozen residents and SpaceX's Starship facility. Anyway, this is what I'm going to send you to the links if you want to look more into that. DailyMail.com revealed the exact number of friends you need to be successful and why having too many can be just as bad as having none. Robin Dunbar is a British psychologist who specializes in human behavior. He believes we can only maintain a certain number of connections at a time based on research into human groupings. He says the magic number is 150. These are mainly regular friends who we see at weddings and school reunions. Mr. Dunbar suggests we have 5 intimate and 12 to 15 supportive friends. And I think this is a really cool analysis. Like I remember I have an undergraduate degree in psychology, and one of the things before every dumb other thing that happened in my life happened, one of the careers I really wanted to pursue was social psychology research, as in, doing those fun kinds of experiments that probe the functional effectiveness of the human mind and put in different challenging situations, and in a controlled scientific way. So this idea of the Dunbar number is this idea that you can really only know so many people, and this deserves so much more examination. And I think about the way that people know celebrities. Like, how many celebrities do you know by name and face? Versus then you think about people in your real life, and you might have something like this typical structure of 5 intimate friends and 12 to 15 supportive friends, concentric circles of intimacy. And the thing is, I already have like a couple problems with just how this gets simplified into advice. Because one, it makes it sound rigid. Like, you get to pick 5 and then pick 12 to 15 and then make sure you don't know more than 150 other people or try to know that, and it's like, well, it kind of comes and goes, and I like remembering as many names as I can. I'm not great at it, but like if I go to a store and like there's certain places we've been going for supplies for the cabin build or for like for the for different projects around Gardena, different construction projects, things like that. And if I go to a place that I know I'm going to come back to, and I get a good customer service experience with someone, and I get their name, I try to and call them by name, and I'll greet them by name next time. And over the period of like that project, I'm going to that place, and I have that casual, friendly, professional relationship. They're one of my 150, and then we stop going there, and then like forget about them. It's like, oh yeah, that guy. But I don't maintain that mental energy of maintaining that as a relationship. And then different people, different situations. Obviously, there are more important things in your life than going, do I have 5 intimate friends and 12 to 15 supportive friends? And do I have only 100? Like, no. So that there's certain things that when you boil it down, I'm like, okay. Because I really do love this kind of study. And I think for advancing mental health, human optimization, understanding these kinds of things are really important, is really important. Yes. Excuse me. A behavioral psychologist has revealed the exact number of friends you need to be successful and why having too many can be just as bad as having none. British anthropologist and mathematician of relationships, Robin Dunbar, believes we can only maintain a certain number of human connections at any one time. In his latest book, Friends, Understanding the Power of Our Most Important Relationships, the 73-year-old dissects scientific research into human groups to determine that 150 is the magic number needed for success. Now, it's funny because I remember learning about the Dunbar number, and maybe it was presented differently to me in college. Maybe I'm misremembering it because memory is tricky like that. But then it was more about capacity, that you can only really maintain an active relationship and remember a name and a face and enough about someone to know who they are with about 150 people. So Mr. Dunbar discovered that historically 150, not that it was the ideal, right, but that was the capacity. Mr. Dunbar discovered that historically 150 was the preferred grouping found in factories, small villages, and military units, where everyone knows each other's names and skills and are willing to help each other when needed. And that's a really cool examination and understanding that this is a tendency, a trend that we see in human grouping, and that it leads to an optimization of performance. Robin Dunbar's tiers of friends, intimate friends, 5, and he says, who would donate a kidney to you? I think unless I'm thinking of a different organ, like, yeah, I would donate a kidney to a stranger. So I don't think that's, to get like, so a lot of these criteria are really simplified. But another quick problem I have with people being presented this as the optimal number, and it's obvious, but like when you get it in a news report like this where they want to go facts, dramatic facts, you lose a lot of the subtlety probably that Mr. Dunbar has in his broader research, and a lot of this varies by personality too. For some people, how many intimate friends is maybe you want a bigger group of intimate friends and then no supportive friends. Well, anyway, you get the idea that you can vary this. And if you're an introvert, these numbers are going to be warped to meet your needs and your logistics and your personal preferences and your circumstance. And, you can't always be with the one you love. So love the one you're with and embrace whatever social situation you're in and take this consciousness to optimize it more and generally be more connected with people and more connected with your community. So Robin Dunbar's tiers of friends, intimate friends, 5, who would donate a kidney to you, supportive friends, 12 to 15, who would be distraught if you died, good friends, 50, who would be invited to your birthday party, but not a dinner party, regular friends, 150, who you meet at weddings and school reunions. And so like this is, the thing is this, how much of this is observational versus prescriptive, descriptive versus prescriptive? In modern times, Mr. Dunbar says this number chiefly consists of regular friends we see at weddings and school reunions, where we promise to meet up more often. Within the 150 figure, Mr. Dunbar suggests that we have blah blah. Okay, so it goes down, those tiers. So at this area, it's observational, right? And here's where the capacity concept comes in. It actually is in this article as well. Mr. Dunbar's theory is based on the idea that we only have a certain amount of emotional capital or energy to invest in others, which is why the majority of people have roughly the same amount of friends. And that's people who it's sort of like emotional bandwidth, intellectual bandwidth, memory bandwidth. You have to retain all of that in your head to maintain a connection and a meaningful relationship with someone. So trying to maintain too many social circles will result in burnout because we stretch ourselves too thin, his theory suggests. Hey, Mike Freeman weighing in Friday with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. All right, so burnout from stretching ourselves too thin. The point here is not strive to emulate these numbers. The point here is be conscious of different levels of relationships, and that if you're investing too much or too spread out, you are spread thin, and your relationships have to be downgraded by the tiers if you don't have the time and energy to put into maintaining them. And there is a sort of limit here. So let me go back to the list, the tiers of friends, and look at it this way, because you could instead describe this as time that you spend with each other or thinking about each other, right? So intimate friends. Could you say that someone you only see that someone you see only or less than once a week is an intimate friend? I suppose, if you spend, every Saturday with someone, that could be an intimate friend, right? That would be an intimate friend. But if you don't see them every week, or it's just like an hour or two, would you say that you're intimate with someone? Is an intimate friend? So there's an inherent chronological limit here. And if you wanted to pack in intimate friends, then you don't have any time for supportive friends or good friends, right? Like if you wanted to have spending 1 day per week with someone, or even half a day per week with someone, makes someone an intimate friend. You're kind of at a logical limit there of 14. If you just break down how a human being spends their time. You have 24 hours a day. You spend 8 hours sleeping. Say you spend 2 hours in self-care, so it's 10. You're down to 14 hours a day that you could possibly spend investing in relationships. And you can sleep with someone, and yes, you share energy sleeping with someone, but that being out of the equation for just whatever purposes here, you have 14 hours a day. How many hours a week do you need to spend with someone to be able to call them an intimate friend? I mean, I would say, really 4 hours a week would be absolute minimum, right? And beyond that, you couldn't say they're really an intimate friend if you don't do that, at very least. And you can break this down however works for you. But if you spend 2 hours a day, I'm going to make the numbers even, in doing chores, and you have 12 hours a day to be with people, then it's three per day. So you have 21. If you really put that time in, and it wouldn't have to be that strict and regimented, I'm not suggesting that, but like if you lived like with a small community of 21 people and you wanted to be intimate friends with all of them, and you split your time really evenly like that, okay, you could have 21 intimate friends. But then you wouldn't have any time to have significant supportive friends or good friends. You could probably have a lot of regular friends, people you just sort of know and you're friendly with and remember who they are. But there's a chronological limit here. Maria Evans weighs in, I have an intimate friend and we're there for each other when needed. We are not together all the time. Right. So it's more complicated than how I'm breaking it down simply as time you spend together. But really, there is a way that you can quantify this and say, yeah, there is an inherent numerical limit. So Mr. Dunbar's research into human interaction has been used to determine the ideal number of participants for everyday activities, from dinner parties to walking groups. 4 is the perfect number of guests to invite for dinner if you want to have a meaningful conversation where everyone gets involved. But 6 should be invited if you want the discussion to cover a broader range of subjects. Yeah, the classic 6-person dinner party that has that optimal that benefit, right? If you have one asshole, it doesn't matter how many people you have, you're gonna have a fucked up dinner party, right? There's still more important things. Now, if you have 10 amazing people who all get along and have great conversation with each other the whole time, maybe it's more than that. But there is that concept. We don't try to have we have a natural ideal of a size of a dinner party, right? His theory claims 10 is the ideal membership for a book club to encourage diverse and lively debate. And it's funny, I think back to the Ron Paul book club that I was a part of in Santa Fe after the Ron Paul campaigns, and it was about 10 people. It was really cool while it lasted. While holiday groups should consist of no more than 8 to avoid arguments and headaches over a restaurant booking. So that suggests holiday groups like family gatherings for Christmas and things like that. So I hope that's a cool. There's story that's just scratching the surface of what I love that we get out of studying social psychology and things like this. And oh shit, my apologies to the guests. Are you let's see. I didn't tell him what time. So any time now, I'm gonna send him the link. Give me just a second there, everybody. I was looking at the clock as hour in rather than on the hour as we normally do. But fortunately, Jay is flexible. So Jim, please just send me a message there in Telegram when our guest is backstage, and we have one more story in human optimization. And we'll check in with our co-host, Fina. Buzznick.com, actor Gary Sinise took over 1,750 children of fallen soldiers to Disney World, free of charge. And good to know that there are celebrities doing that. And I hate to say because this isn't inherently pro-militarism, although a lot of Gary's outreach, and sort of charitable volunteer work has been for veterans groups and military groups. Just that there's a sort of there's a domination of liberals in this genre, and to see someone who is conservative, and I don't want to presume about his politics, but not of that bullshit Hollywood liberal mold, at least, out doing good work, deserving recognition. So kudos to that. Now, we have one really cool video I've been waiting to play, but we're going to go, and it's about a volcano. But before that, we go back to Fina, our co-host, to the land of volcanoes. Fina, what do we have for comments you like so far?
Wow. Well, sun's out, guns out. Everybody else.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, well, you've been talking about like friendship and everything. It's Friday, the sun's coming up, and your friends are coming out of the woodwork, and Mike, earlier he did the super chat for $5 and it was like blank. And I think that he meant to post something else at the same time, because then like immediately after this popped up.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah.
So I need to explain that real quick, because that's something that we've encouraged to say, because if no one else is super chatting and you want attention to a message like this, throw us a super chat for even $1 and leave it blank, because you only get they limit the length. YouTube it's a weird feature on YouTube, and it's kind of cool, but it's also kind of limiting. I want people to be able to post long shit for $1 that I can just ignore and say, no, $1's not enough right now. There's $20 super chats coming through. But if it's like you want to say something like this and it's quiet and
I think it's really sweet though. It says, hey Adam, I've never met you, but I've followed you for years. I don't now agree with everything, but you're authentic and sincere, and you can't fake that. Enjoy some of my stimulus fiat. All
right. Yeah, that money's flowing right back to wait, no, I'm going to buy silver with it. we're spending on this production one way or another. Actually, I'm really excited. This weekend, I will finish the studio backdrop. We will have none of this wrinkled black curtain anymore. It's going to be sound foam. Like, it's going to look really cool. I'm excited.
I gotta say something, Adam. I'm kind of, yeah, I know you want me on the Homefront Battle Buddies, but I am kind of waiting until you get some kind of bathroom situation. I want pictures.
We have a month. We have a month. We have the
I'm gonna stay there, and I've already been checking out the motels. It ain't nice, but I'm coming.
There are two wonderful places to stay in Ashford, but no, excuse me. Like right now, this whole time we've been here, I've had a full bathroom in the trailer. I've had a full bathroom in the bus. We've had the outdoor showers in the outhouse that I use now because I like being outdoorsy like that. But we are building a full conventional bathroom into the cabin. And
Adam, I gotta be real with you though. I mean, I'm kind of scared to go to Hawaii. I'm kind of scared I won't be able to come back.
Because of the Rona?
Yeah, they're gonna make. I just don't want them to make me show my papers, like another piece of paper. We are already in charge of carrying around a bunch of papers already, like your driver's license.
Before they make you have a vaccine passport.
Another piece of paper that I have to handle and keep around and have available upon command. Like, at what point, how many more pieces of paper do you need? Like, I'm tired of paper. Like, having to keep so much identification in general.
Yeah, no, that's
just one more thing.
Yeah, I hate to jump ahead to the Nazi reference, but yeah, it's papers, please. And you go, wait, why do I need papers? I'm a human. I have a right to do this. I don't need papers. Look at me. I'm a human. I'm doing something I have a right to do.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
So
no, I don't need papers to do what I'm doing.
To leave anyways, but I'm still holding out. I'm still gonna go. I'm go. Don't want to go, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna support you because that's what vets do. We stick together and we hang together and we support each other. That's what Battle Buddies is all about, right?
And we're gonna find a way to create a retreat in Hawaii too.
I think that'd be cool. There's been a lot of people trying to talk to me about doing that exact same thing, and I just want to network that together and make it happen because I think it would help people. Even I was who was I? I was talking to one of my friends about having a retreat out here in Hawaii, and vets would love to come out here in Hawaii and just wash dishes for a year in Hawaii. And just that's what they do. They got room and board. They get a couple days off. Do that for a year, and it could be something big. Well, not really big, but something sustainable. But anyways, I'm just talking. Listen to me, dreaming, hoping. That's what Fridays with Fina is about. Dreams, hopes, aspirations, the future, Fina, maybe. Anyways, do you like to talk about comments?
Well, yeah, but someone shared in the producers club, and it's someone with admin access, so I don't know who it is. A mask with a digital readout on it. Did you see that?
I don't know.
I want to see what this is. Whoever shared that, please share more before the end of the show. Before the end of our CJ. Before the end of our tech innovation section.
Yeah.
So if you can hit me with the comments, we'll get to our guest when he signs on, and then through our next 4 segments.
Yeah. Okay. So am I done?
No comments.
Oh, more comments. Yeah. Oh, got you. I love washing dishes by hand. That was cool. All right. Sorry. I'm a little stoned now. I didn't smoke too much weed, but let me get this. Okay. We've been getting some comments about fuck the man. I like those. Rob B, he had what the fuck? I only have 2 hands, and I like that as a fuck the man. 2 hands. At the end of the day, I only got 2 hands, right? He also said truck and tools because I don't know. I'm weird like that. Sometimes I like to say that. Oh shit. You know what, man? I gotta look at these. Psychic Taxi. I've take the worst fucking notes, man.
That's all right. I got your back, Fina, on this one. The one you just said, when you just said trucks and tools, I'm gonna spark your memory right now. He was talking about when Psychic Taxi said in the range of friends, you know you have a friend, they'll help you move. And you know who your friends are when you have a truck. You know what I mean? You always you have 50,000 friends when you have a truck. And he said, yeah, when you have a truck and tools, you have tons of friends.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was thinking actually somewhere else with that, maybe a little more dehumanizing, but like, who needs friends when you have a truck and tools? Those are my friends. You know, you only have so many, like you have so many hours to invest in relationships. Well, I have a relationship with my electric chainsaw.
Mm. Adam, you've got friends. Look how many friends you have. I'm jealous. Like I have friends, but I don't. Like you've got some friends, man. I'm not super jealous.
I need to point out one other huge thing though to my sort of relationship time analysis breakdown, where like you only have so much time to invest in relationships to be intimate or good friends, whatever. That's not that's a weird scenario where you like have no work obligations, no other, or that's part of your family obligation, and you don't have any other demands on your time. But even then, nobody should live like that. Everybody should have some alone time. Everybody should have some meditation, some exercise. Maybe that's social, maybe it's, maybe you don't care, but it's not developing. You need to turn your brain off and do other things than being engaged with relationships with other human beings. Most people are on the other far end of the spectrum and are way underconnected and need to be more conscientious and more actively connected. And there are a lot of people, I think, as Dunbar points out, who are spread thin in modern society, trying to have, a lot of supportive friends, too many supportive friends or intimate friends, and then it kind of, they don't end up with intimate friends or genuinely supportive friends. None of them have rise to that category.
Speaking of friends, we have a friend backstage right now.
All right.
Yes. Turbine Guy, you ready?
Let's do it. Welcome to the show, Jay. How you doing, brother?
Adam, we're friends. We're friends enough. We're friends enough.
Guys hear me?
More than enough. Where's all right, sorry, my screen froze.
I'm in.
Second here. Technical challenges as usual. Hey, there he is, Jay from his vehicle. You're not actually driving right now, are you? Because that would be crazy.
No, I actually, I'm going to show you where I stopped. I figured if I'm coming down to Arizona, one last thing I got to do is stop off at the greenery. So I picked this up a little something to talk about when we get there.
It's gonna be a good guess. All right, so I saw your messages. I don't know that we have absolutely everything that you need, and you asked how deep of a hole for the turbine do you have? I thought we were waiting until you got here to dig the hole to consider the locations, but
that's fine.
It's good news and bad news on that front. It's pretty shallow topsoil in the area we're going to be doing it, so it might be pulling rock, digging rock, and we're probably not going to get very deep before we hit bedrock. But that's the good news, and so we'll probably able to cement directly to something solid. And if we have to build, a column up even above ground, we got all the lumber, and everything necessary for that.
Yeah, and that was going to be my suggestion. If the hole doesn't go deep enough, we'll form up above it and run that form wider than the hole, so it's got kind of something to push on.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, no problem. So here, I'm going to give you a look. Right here, I got 2 turbines in the truck.
Nice. Oh man, beautiful. Oh, and there's the golden and purple one for Ed. That's awesome.
There's your pole. By the way, I used to use it as a flag pole, so maybe you get a little U.S. flag up on top of it like I have.
No, we're going to fly the Gardenia flag. But yes.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, we gotta get gardenia flags made.
Sure. And then I got that charge controller, like I told you, and it's just a little thing, but you really want you don't want to ever want to put your electronics where it's going to get hot. That's just it's like putting a battery outside in the winter. It's just not going to do well. So
Right. Well, so,
this, well, I just say this thing's small, about twice the size of my phone, and we could mount it on a wall or a ceiling right near the attic and just run the wires to it. And then you can, because it's got a little display on the front of it, it's going to tell you how much power it's making, how much power the solar's made, all lifetime, the battery voltage, and all that. So
so
you want to be able to keep your eyes on it.
I just decided, in considering all this and going to the hardware store yesterday, and with the help of a good guy at Home Depot, I'm adding 2 vents with 4-inch ducting to the attic. One that's in the attic that's air connected to the rest of the house, but that's sort of in a separate space, so it'll pull. And it's not attic like a conventional attic. It's a barn roof, and there's a section of that that's going to be just for the power system and whatever extra space for attic storage. But I'm going to have a fan, like a dedicated fan, a foot over all the electronic components blowing to the outside. So it'll be pulling, the cool air in through the house and blowing the hot air off the top of the equipment. And it's in a fully, 2x4 full insulation space. So, and my batteries are not the liquid cell. They're whatever the next level is. So they're not as sensitive to high temperatures.
Are they gel cells or AGMs?
AGMs.
Oh yeah. That's actually gel cells, kind of the next level that they had, but then they developed the AGMs, and that level's like way up high, and those are absolutely the batteries you want, and they're going to be a lot more forgiving. That's for sure.
Well, these AGMs, I have 5. I think I texted you the specs. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but they're great. Like, they're, for what I'm doing now, the capacity is fine. Given that I'm going to have 3 inputs: solar, wind, and generator backup. For now, they're great. Eventually, it would be nice to the one thing to upgrade in the system then would be the battery bank. And that system will still be good on other systems I want to do around here for a long time. But I'm pretty confident with the heat, that they'll be okay with that. But I'm really excited. I don't want to expect you to be able to envision this from my description. You're gonna have to see it in real life and see the space. And the timing of this is almost perfect because it's just before the drywall went in that area. So we've got like all the drywall done except for that, so we can still, we can move the vents. Those haven't gone in yet, and anything else that you suggest we can make happen. Where we have, holes in the building, and I don't know what you have in mind for conduit. We might. I don't know that we have everything that we need, but I know that there is an Ace Hardware 35 minutes away, and if we have to run out and back Saturday, we will. But I'm pretty sure we got most of it. I'm pretty sure we can improvise anything that we don't have here. I'm pretty excited.
I brought some conduit, and I brought a bunch of fittings. I brought my solar toolkit. So, anything we need for hooking it up. I think we'll be able to figure it out, especially since you just have a short little run there that you're going. I don't think it's going to be a big deal at all.
Yeah. We got, and one of the things I'm excited to show you, and I'm like convincing you, going from like living inside city limits, sort of suburbia lifestyle, to full rural here. The beautiful mess that I've been able to make over 5 years of collecting junk and tools and building materials and all, like, art installations and geodesic domes and all sorts of fun stuff. You're gonna really dig it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. And, I'm not opposed to leaving the city. The issue is with my city, I'm going to leave the city on my terms. I'm not going to leave on their terms.
Yeah,
And
no,
we
you're
just
no,
have to,
I know. Hey, if anybody hasn't seen the first interview we did with Jay, telling the story of his battles there with city government bullshit, check it out. He's in a really cool situation now that he's got. He's anyway. I want to put that comment back up here because that's a question for Jay. Hey, where do you all see the battery storage capacity tech going in the next 10 years or so?
that's a really good question because I want to just stick to 2 words he said, not the whole thing. Storage technology. You don't necessarily have to have batteries. You can elevate water into a tank and let the water come back down. You can compress air. There's all different kinds of way to store energy and recover that energy. And it all depends on where you are. And, elevating water and bringing it back down doesn't have a shelf life. The water doesn't just like quit working after 10 years. The water is still going to be the water. So
Wait a
I think
second. Hold on. Is that a perpetual motion machine? If you can figure out how to get energy from falling water, have it fall into in a container, it's an enclosed thing, and then it evaporates back up.
it's close.
It wouldn't be
And in,
perpetual motion. It would be sunlight generated. As long as the sun is going into this and evaporating the water. I don't know if this works at any kind of scale, but I've never heard of this idea, and I'm already
no,
putting it
no,
together. This is fascinating.
no. What I'm saying you do is you get yourself a little pump, hook it up to some solar panels or turbines, and when the sun comes up, it elevates the water for you. So when you need electricity, that water can fall down through the tank through a micro hydro and produce energy for you.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
a
wow.
matter
Yeah. Of course, there are even better mechanisms than. Well, I was thinking of a very simplified passive system. If you set it up where, like the water generators, where you have a clear plastic with a rock in the middle, so it forms a cone, and evaporation hits it and it drips down.
Yep.
If you could create a giant one of those and then capture the falling energy of the dripping down, you could have it complete. You could have zero moving parts in your water movement system.
Yes, I agree. I just don't think you can do enough
Doesn't work
water
at
to
scale
account
like
for what
that.
you're going to want to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's your big issue. But as far as the batteries go, I'm a Sunnen certified installer, and Sunnen batteries are the next level technology above Tesla. They're lithium iron phosphate instead of lithium ion. That gains you several things. It gets you a longer shelf life. It gets you longer battery life, cycle life. It also is not dangerous like the Tesla batteries. These lithium iron phosphates, if you puncture the battery, is not going to start on fire, but the Tesla batteries will. So it's kind of the next generation. Of course, they're not cheap, but the point is they're moving towards this and people are buying them. And just like any other product, the more people buy and use, the more they're going to improve and the cheaper it's going to get.
Exciting times. We don't even, in terms of robotics and drone technology, that and just being able to live off grid and do whatever you want with power. It's really hard. It's hard to imagine even the possibility. Patrick Lewis wanted to comment there. Once the kitty sniffer ousts, Al Saudi will take over the 15 triple dollar lithium vein, and Syria and battery prices may lower. Oh yeah, there are other. I'm not sure I understood all of that, but Joe Biden, the kitty sniffer, and al-Assad in Syria, the dictator or alleged however you want to characterize him. But yeah, geopolitical things are going to favor access to materials and new metals and things like that. You see anything there worth commenting on and shifts you're looking forward to?
Absolutely. I say we quit invading other countries to take their materials, and I say we go to Australia, where they do have plenty of these resources. They're a very good ally, and we help them develop their resources. That's what I say. And the other thing that's important is instead of invading other countries to take their stuff, let's figure out how to recycle this stuff better and better so we can keep reusing what we have.
Yeah, and that's one of the sort of under-recognized side effects of corporatism and consumerism that libertarians don't look at sufficiently as just a huge source of insufficiency is that when you tilt the playing field towards immediate consumerism away from saving, it's also away from recycling. And that creates incredible waste and inefficiencies in the system. We had a brand review inquiry for you there, Jay. Your thoughts on Battleborn batteries?
I have not heard of them. I'd have to do a little looking into it to see.
Okay. Maybe we'll get to that over the weekend.
Sure. Yeah, it's something to look at. Just the key thing is, like I said, lithium iron phosphate's going to do a lot better than lithium ion. And if you're going with a conventional style battery, get a good high quality AGM. And when you're doing a solar system, especially if you're doing a big battery bank, it's typically better to link a bunch of low voltage batteries together than use high voltage batteries. Reason being, you're running less current and less out of them. They're just going to last longer.
All right. Any other thoughts today, Jay? Getting on the road right now?
I'm getting ready to. I think I'm going to take the way where I can stop right at the Four Corners spot and do a little video.
Nice.
Between the states. Yep.
Keep us posted on your logistics, and we're looking forward to seeing you here soon.
Yep. See y'all.
All right. And the website there is gogreenenergyonline.com. And you see the beautiful turbines he's got on the photo there. And that's the one we're getting here. It's pretty cool. So going to be here tomorrow. Very exciting. All right. Back to our blocks. But first, through fire and flames, drone films incredible flight through erupting volcano as it spews lava after being dormant for 800 years. This is in Iceland. Sorry, Fina. Not all volcanoes are in Hawaii. So can we get that video on screen? Jim, Fina, any commentary? Have you guys seen this one? Is there no audio with it? I thought there was audio with it.
No audio.
I want to see one where the drone lands into the lava and they show the last seconds as it's until it stops transmitting video footage. I don't think that's what happened here. So, Jim, as a drone pilot, any thoughts?
It's pretty cool.
What was the last time?
I wish there was more footage. I mean, it would be cooler if there was more.
Yeah.
Just one shot. He didn't like go in, and there's not. I mean, you got a drone up there, and that's all we get is a few seconds of passing over.
I'm sure there's a link to longer footage in here. No,
I don't know. I'm looking.
The photos with this are pretty cool too.
Oh, here's another one. I would have done better. Is all I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, though. The way he goes angling and oh, that's a good shot right there of it blasting in the air. Yeah,
there's the money shot for you.
Yeah, that's the money shot right there. Oh, he better be careful. Whoa, man! see, you catch one of them lava drips on your propeller, your shit's going down, bro. You're risky. I give this guy props now.
It would be better to just nose dive into it from the top.
That is pretty sick. One more time with the money shot. Man, that's like on the crest. That's so cool. That's definitely a unique, rare shot. Good job on that guy.
Think of how much, I mean, nature films of like where they were able to look at dung beetles under their little underground layers was, and fish underwater and stuff, revolutionary. Imagine how much better it's going to get with drones and like imagine an underwater drone with a camera on a hose, micro, going in, examining all crazy micro sea life at the bottom of the ocean. We're gonna see like really cool footage coming in the next few years. This is like, I mean, this is cool. It's beautiful. I don't want to like demean this. I mean, I'm showing it because it's fucking awesome, but it's really just scratching the surface of the cinematic capabilities that we have now that are going to start to be applied. I'm a bit of a geek for nature documentaries. I'm building this cabin in such a way where I'm finally gonna have like I have not had a good spot to watch TV since I moved here. So we're gonna have a good spot to watch TV where there's a fridge and a pantry 2 steps away from your couch and a big screen and surround sound. We put in the speaker wire behind the drywall yesterday. I'm such a dork about all this. But yeah, we're gonna be fucking rocking some nature documentaries with some upgraded drone footage and underwater crazy camera shit when we get this cabin done here in Gardenia. It's gonna be off the hook, man. We're gonna be sitting there smoking bongs and going like, "Whoa, man!" all day long. All right. So we have another drone story. This autonomous robot can clean underwater nuclear waste. The A212 aims to eliminate the need to send people in hazardous environments. Yeah, no shit. Are we already like becoming machines when machines are extensions of our brains that we're able to control? Now, in this case, it's autonomous, which is even like crazier that we've birthed something that is a robot that obviously is being programmed and controlled in that sense. It's just autonomous. It's not like AI. It's not like an autonomous thing, but it's autonomous in the sense that you program it and launch it and it does its own thing, right? But if that, what if it was controlled like these things remotely based on your body movements? Is that how? At what point does that technology be? If you have an exoskeleton or if you have a glove, like say like, this is really all right. Comic book off the wall thinking here. But think about it like this. If you had your hand chopped off, like Luke Skywalker, and you had a robotic hand replaced, and you could shoot your finger off, like what if your index finger, you could shoot it off, and it would launch 4 tiny little propellers, and it was a quadcopter, and you controlled it through your hand movements and Google Glass and a little camera on it. You could fly it around, and you get it fly back and join back to your hand and be your finger again. At what point is that a prosthetic, and at what point is that just a remote control airplane, right? A remote control helicopter drone, a remote control quadcopter? You go, well, that it kind of blurs the line, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, we're blurring some lines, but this one, cleaning underwater nuclear waste, just another cool application of this technology. Rob report, this new supersonic airliner will fly from New York City to London in less than an hour. The commercial jet will be able to transport 500 passengers at speeds nearing 4,000 miles an hour. Now, this is really cool. Be able to fly at speeds of Mach 4 plus. And it's crazy because there's just a fuckload of those billionaires, rich people, it's more millionaires that don't have their own jets, right? Flying from New York City to London that have driven that as like that's the metric of of air travel. Like how what's your New York to London time or whatever flagship airline or airplane. And like I don't want to go faster in an airline or an airplane that could still just it has the potential of catastrophic fatal collapse. What I'm excited about is there being, and I haven't shared this fantasy with people for a while, but if we have now my current fantasy is a quadcopter, like there's like a rideable quadcopter that's like you ride on it like a hover bike kind of thing, and that's a thing like that exists. I was just thinking like how can I build one in a kit here? Can we get batteries light enough and rotors effective enough? And what do we have to do to fly my 220-pound ass around? And I just want to be like, actually, this would be really cool for just buzzing around the property. I could take it into town with, on the back roads because now it's comfort. Like I love my pickup truck, but it bounces on the dirt roads. If I'm hovering on the dirt roads, it's a way smoother ride. And the next level of this other fantasy is that you'll have a pod kind of thing. Like you'll have your travel cabin. It'll be something that you buy because it won't be that expensive. But you'll have for you, your family, you'll have one person with or without bathrooms, with whatever luxuries you want, standardized as like maybe like the way that shipping containers are standardized today, and like the cargo ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. That is the dominant means of transportation of consumer goods these days, and anyway, sea travel with containers. But I think there's going to be the equivalent of like a travel pod that you step into. It's in your backyard. And you want to go on vacation. It's like, all right, kids, into the travel pod with your suitcases. We're going to Hawaii or whatever. And you call a drone that flies down and attaches and picks up your pod. And the pod is super safe because it's a crash proof cage. It's not very far off the ground. It doesn't have to be going that fast, although it'll be way faster than the driving for sure. And that's enough to give this something that would have preference for me, right? And then maybe if you want to go to Hawaii, you dock up to a bigger hovercraft that goes over the ocean. And there's other things with this pod, make it crash proof. It'll have detection and whatever. It'll be essentially extremely safe compared to the idea of fixed wing aircraft fighting gravity with the Bernoulli effect or deflecting air by going so fucking fast, and they can create the lift for it, because that creates the possibility of instant death. And who wants that? But yeah, there's my little aeronautics aviation fantasy segment for today's Good News Friday. Popular mechanics. This fuel is about to power the world's biggest fusion reactor. But first, scientists need to see if it's ready. A smaller sibling of the ITER fusion reactor is testing heavy tritium fuel. It's been 24 years since scientists set the existing fusion record using tritium. Tritium has 2 neutrons compared with deuterium's single neutron. So yeah, expect good things there. Also popular in mechanics, the radioactive diamond battery that will run for 28,000 years. Yeah, that could change things. Make what we're doing here practically irrelevant with solar and wind power and the batteries here. The startup NDB is making a 28,000-year battery powered by nuclear waste with energy extracted by diamond. The battery is costly and fussy, but it could power devices for many years at a time. In 2 years, one startup says you'll be able to buy its diamond nuclear-powered battery. 2 years. Excuse me, even cooler, the battery will last for up to 28,000 years. That sounds wild. The potential game changer comes from the U.S. startup NBD, which stands for Nano Diamond Battery. High-powered diamond-based alpha, beta, and neutron voltaic battery. Its research scientists, founders can give devices lifelong and green energy. Now, can it power my hover bike? If it's light enough, we'll see. ScienceAlert.com. Scientists built an artificial cell that grows and divides like a natural one. Kind of scary, right? In a new first for genetic engineering, scientists have developed a single-celled synthetic organism that grows and divides much like a normal cell, mimicking aspects of the cell division cycle that underlies and generates healthy living cellular life. Wow. What are they going to be able to engineer from that next? Interesting engineering. Researchers find a way to harvest electricity from radio waves. This rectenna converts energy from electromagnetic waves in the ambient environment to power wearable devices. This would make all alternative energy sources irrelevant if you could just harvest the radio waves out of the thin air. This is the kind of, when I talk about the asymptote, the human experience being exponential, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, it almost makes the conversation with me and Jay boring. To be like, well, you have AGM batteries, well, that's better than deep cell and liquid acid, whatever. But the next thing is this and that. And it's like, well, the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It's just like the change of the last 2 years is really equivalent, if you stop and think about it, to the change of the last 20 years, and then 200, and then 2000. You go, well, what does that mean in the next 2 years, in the next 2 months, then the next 2 weeks, 2 days? You go, holy shit, who knows what the next thing is going to be. Daily Mail. Say cheese, NASA's Curiosity Mars rover takes a selfie with the 20-foot tall Mount Mercou rock formation. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's where NASA's at. Your tax dollars at work, but in the sense of, yeah, this is what we're doing. Yeah. And the story part starts out, at first glance at this image, you'd be forgiven for mistaking it as a still from the latest science fiction blockbuster. And this is NASA's Curiosity. It's collecting samples up there. This is a rock formation on Mars named after a mountain in France. Maybe it's Mont Morceau. The selfie is composed of 60 images taken by Curiosity's hand lens imager on March 26th, the 3070th day of the mission. And it really is beautiful. Really beautiful image. Also now an exploration from Daily Star. Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic to take tourists to Edge of Space in 2021. The British entrepreneur hopes to fly to the edge of space himself this summer as Virgin Galactic unveiled a new ship. The firm is gearing up to take tourists on the historic journey. Yeah. Back to Elon Musk, also Daily Star. Elon Musk unveils incredible new spacecraft design with the most in-space view. A modified version of SpaceX's reusable Dragon spacecraft will offer the space tourists setting off into orbit on September 15 a unique 360-degree view of the stars. Yeah. Yeah. That's where we're at. Now, someone is complaining, let it be, this is from Daily Mail, conservationists fury after exploding SpaceX rocket sent debris onto a wildlife area, which is home to a rare beetle and a newly discovered ant that is yet to be named. All right. A little attention back to Earth for a second here. Neoscope. Oh, and I think I meant to put this in the other segment. New app claims to make you trip like you're on LSD. According to reviews, it's surprisingly good. Yeah, this should have been in the human optimization section, right? A new smartphone app called Luminate promises to alter your consciousness, something akin to an LSD trip, using flickering lights. And according to Vice, it may actually work. Its creators claim the app can help guide your brain into a unique and powerful altered state of consciousness between that of deep meditation and classic psychedelics. In other words, a clear mind or a great night's sleep. I'm going to be trying this out this weekend. We'll have a review next week. The Jerusalem Post. No Armageddon. NASA says Earth safe from asteroid Apophis for 100 years. The funny thing about the story is not that they are able to figure out that we're safe. This is the 1,100-foot long 9943 Apophis will fly by the Earth on April 13, 2029 at just under 20,000 miles above the surface and will be visible without binoculars or telescopes. That's something really cool we have to look forward to. Mark your calendars for April 13, 2029, and we'll get to see this giant asteroid flying through the sky. But here's the funny thing. The announcement clears up fears that had lingered since 2004 when the asteroid was identified as one of the most hazardous potential asteroids that could strike the planet. However, this has been ruled out thanks to a growing understanding of the asteroid and its orbit by astronomers, as well as new radar observations using precise analysis. And they actually said that they thought it was going to come close to the planet and thought that it could have impacted Earth. And it was like this weird point of fear for a long time among astronomers until it was like, oh no, never mind. We did the math. It's cool. All right, back to Elon Musk. Should have put these together. Elon Musk's girlfriend is ready to die on Mars and wants to relocate to the red planet. Yes, we might find a way to send people there and not have a way to send people back. And it's sort of like you go to Mars, that's permanent. Billionaire Elon Musk's girlfriend Grimes, whose real name is Claire Elise Boucher, and a Canadian musician, has said on Instagram that she is willing to die on the red planet. It seems that Elon Musk's girlfriend, Grimes, shares his passion for the red planet and has staked her claim by announcing that she is willing to die there. Yeah, it's almost, you can say that with seriousness without being called crazy now. That's progress. Virgin Galactic, now to CNBC.com. Virgin Galactic unveils VSS Imagine, the first of its next generation spaceship series. The VSS Imagine adds a second spacecraft to its fleet. We may need more ships than we have right now, and we also need the ships that are able to be maintained in a way that we can have much quicker turnaround times between flights. So, yeah, cool picture with that one. Now, to the alien life. I got to do my hair back to George Tsoukalos style, because we're on to the alien life segment. Can I do this? All right. I'm not saying aliens, but aliens.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
Kicks us off with this headline: search for alien life moves well beyond Mars. If life does exist beyond Earth, be it primitive or advanced, scientists say they may find a trace of it soon. And the picture here, it's like a planet covered in veins. It almost looks like an eyeball until you stop and go, well, with this headline, that's probably not what it is, right? The caption is: NASA plans a mission in 2024 to see whether Jupiter's icy moon Europa, shown here in a view based on images taken in the 90s by NASA's Galileo spacecraft, in harbor conditions suitable for life. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember seeing this in middle school, I think. On Mars, a robotic rover called Perseverance is searching for life from the dawn of time. Scientists, though, are looking for life signs in even stranger places, from clouds on Venus and methane lakes on Titan to the alien atmospheres of worlds circling distant stars. They are scanning for alien radio signals, seeking signs of industrial pollution on faraway exoplanets, and scrutinizing puzzling interstellar objects that have intercepted our solar system. The expanding quest for clues to life beyond Earth and signs for extraterrestrial intelligence is edging into the mainstream of astronomy and planetary exploration. In addition to NASA's Mars rover missions now underway, dozens of research teams are searching for biosignatures of early microbial life, with the search for plausible evidence of alien civilizations gaining respectability. So, yeah, that's where we are. A lot of cool photos, pictures with this story as well. Way too much to get into so late in the show, so I will again refer you to the show notes at t.me/Adam versus the Man for the rest of that story. Newsweek at MSN Next: biker run off road, but by what he claims was UFO. Most people don't expect to encounter what appears to be a UFO on their way home from work, but Richmond Miambo of Chimpinge, Zimbabwe, says that's exactly what happened to him last Friday. Now, the term UFO doesn't mean aliens. It just means, I'm not saying it's aliens. I'm just saying unidentified flying object. If it's something moving through the air and you don't know what the fuck it is, technically, is it a bird? Is it a plane? Well, if I can't identify it, it's a fucking UFO. A bird that you don't, well, I guess if you know it's a bird, you're identifying it. But anything moving through the sky, right? So this doesn't, this is a weird story, but they've got pictures with this that aren't from the story. It's not like the guy was on his motorcycle while, or on his bike while holding a camera or a video camera. Apparently, he didn't have one of those, helmet cams on. See, this is why you got to have a helmet cam. In case there's a UFO running off the road, you can get it on video. But according to him, it was an unusual light in the sky followed by a deafening noise. He says the sound is what caused his fall. I was traveling home on my motorbike about 9 a.m. when I witnessed a strange light traveling in the sky. I tried to concentrate on riding what would make me feel the sound that followed after the light. I then fell off the bike due to panic. I thought I was dying. Definitely not easy to explain. Daily Star, Las Vegas, a UFO hotspot with military testing, secret tech, ex-MOD worker claims exclusive. Nick Pope. I'm out of water. I need more water here. Nick Pope spent 3 years working for the Ministry of Defense's UFO department and claims sightings above Las Vegas could be down to the military testing technology seen in sci-fi film. And again, that's a lot of it. Every time, remember we figured this out last week about most of these alien stories. One way or another, it's the man fucking with you. If they're aliens and they're covering it up, it's the man fucking with you. If they're making it look like aliens and they're not aliens, they're fucking with you. If they, it's the man fucking with you. If it's just crazy shit happening, or it's the military like fucking with people, it's the man fucking with you. And if it's crazy shit happening, they're denying it, and government is coming out like they have reasons saying, "Oh, well, we don't know. It could be a." This is my impersonation of government about aliens. Really, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it could be aliens. Be afraid. Trust your government. You need us to keep you safe. But yeah, the Ministry of Defense's former UFO investigator has claimed Las Vegas is now a hotspot for paranormal sightings, with top secret military technology often the cause. Dozens of videos have emerged over recent months showing unusual objects in the skies above the bustling city in Nevada, U.S. Earlier this month, multiple witnesses claimed to spot a huge UFO there, and there have been previously been sightings of triangular craft and objects hurtling at speeds of 1,000 miles an hour. I think a big part of this is when you take out the real aliens and you take out the military stuff, casinos in Las Vegas staging shit to entice people to come back to Las Vegas. And while technically fraud, I'm kind of okay with it. Let suckers be entertained by UFO sightings and go lose their money at your casinos. Futurism.com. Scientists, now we are in our last segment. We're going to breeze through this so we have some time to check in with Fina here. Understanding Nature segment, The Bite from Futurism.com. Scientists discover X-rays blasting out of Uranus. I'm sorry, Uranus. Yeah, I just wanted to share that headline, but as it says again, Uranus, once again, has scientists utterly baffled. Space next from BigThink.com. Oh, I'm sorry. We're out of, no more aliens. Do you want to play the clip, Jim? Just one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here.
All right, and now on to our last segment on Understanding Nature, BigThink.com. Spacekime. Sounds like space-time, but with a K instead of a T. Spacekime theory could speed up research and heal the rift in physics. But there was a rift in physics? I didn't know that. Can Spacekime help us make headway on some of the most pernicious inconsistencies in physics? I'll let you check the notes. We're not going to try to geek out on that with everybody here. ScienceAlert.com. Scientists discover a hidden law behind the pointy bits on all living things. Scientists have identified a new rule of growth that shapes the form and development of pointy or sharp biological structures in animals and plants, such as teeth, horns, claws, beaks, and thorns. Yeah, I'll refer you to the notes on that. BGR from MSN. A bug acquired the DNA of a toxic plant, and now it's running rampant. Not necessarily good news, but cool to understand that, right? Motherboard at Vice.com. Scientists collected human DNA from the air, a breakthrough. The first reported collection of human and animal DNA from ambient air is a boon for researchers in forensic archaeology, ecology, and population studies. Next, TheAtlantic.com. An entire group of whales has somehow escaped human attention. The only way to give them the space they need might be to seek them out. The marine biologist Jay Barlow likes to say that he went looking for the last of the Ice Age mastodons and instead bumped into a unicorn. It's a land-based metaphor to help us, a land-loving species, make sense of what he witnessed late last year, though. In fact, the mystery unfolded entirely out of sight of land. In 2014, a team of scientists described acoustic recordings taken far off the coast of California that they suspected were the clicks and buzzes of the Perrin's beaked whale, the mastodon, in Barlow's metaphor, though they included 23 known species ranging in size From the pygmy beaked whale, which is about as long as a small hatchback, to the Baird's beaked whale, which can be nearly the scale of a cargo trailer. Beaked whales as a group have remained overlooked cousins of the dolphin and great whales of the present day. Parents' beaked whales were among the most obscure of the obscure, known only from a few carcasses washed ashore in California. They had never been documented alive in the wild. Next, bear cubs in California. This is from BusinessInsider.com. Bear cubs in California are developing an unexplained illness that makes them friendly and not afraid of people. Yeah, they have been showing dog-like behavior. Officials say the behavior is on the rise and likely linked to a brain condition. Scientists don't know the exact cause, but have identified 5 viruses in the bears. Maybe a virus is how we domesticate bears. Who knows? Is that good news or not? I don't know, but it's a fun understanding nature short story, certainly. And finally, for the last story on the stack today, we go to good news. Interesting engineering takes us to TikTok. TikToker unknowingly holds the world's deadliest octopus. And this is a really cool picture of this thing in orange with blue circles. It's just beautiful. This makes me want to get an aquarium, except that keeping one of these intelligent creatures in a cage might be inhumane. Nature has a wonderful way of letting us know when something is dangerous. From prickly spines to neon colors, signs are usually pretty clear. However, they clearly weren't so distinct to a TikTok user who posted a video of her holding one of the world's most venomous octopuses in her hands while in Bali, Indonesia, the blue-ringed octopus. Well, in mere minutes, this little species can kill a person, and just one of them has enough venom to suffocate 10 adults. So, fortunately, the headline is not TikToker dies. And luckily, to date, there have been only 3 reported deaths directly caused by the blue-ringed octopus's venomous bite. This is mostly thanks to the species preferring its own peace and quiet. As for the lucky TikToker who didn't suffer any lethal bites, we just hope that she won't cross paths with such deadly creatures again. Oh, you kids and your TikTok and your octopuses. All right, with that, we go to Hawaii, back again to see the sunrise with Fina Banoan. Fina, how you doing, dear?
Oh, aloha, aloha, aloha. Got some great comments, and let's see. Pineapple Pizza Doomer wins today. Okay, I'm gonna just say that he wins. He wins membership into the Producers Club. He's actually been kind of trolling you, like, "Hey, I'm a college student looking for a bumper sticker and all that stuff." And I'm like, I don't know about. I don't have that to give away, but I got
all those quick comments that you didn't give me time to read, right?
I figured they want to post it up. It's funny things to see, with the pictures sometimes. But anyways, I want to tell you the quote that he did that I liked the best, and it was, "No step on snake."
Yeah, that's not a real.
I tried to find it, but I found that. Anyways, another one that was pretty good was from EKOJR, and they were talking about back and forth, can't have freedom without laws. So that was a nice, interesting conversation in there, kind of, back to talking about the man who is the man. So yeah, those are like some good comments that I've had. And then, like I said, I like to troll you through here. Yeah, that's fun. It's been cool, Adam. It is at 1:58, and Adam, if you have any,
take your time. It's Friday. Say what you need to close out the show today, Fina. Aliens.
Masks. Joke's on you, man. I'm into that shit.
Yeah, this is like Mercedes and I've heard a couple other people making this point from the beginning, like, no, they made it acceptable to do something that used to be a felony, like walking around in public or going into a bank with a mask on used to be a felony. Now it's a misdemeanor to not wear a mask. Like, how quickly that things change.
But
I thought you were going to see a rash of like masked robberies, and that never materialized. I didn't predict that. I just had a hunch. It didn't really materialize, did it?
Nope, didn't materialize. It usually happens like that.
People are good.
Are they?
We're people. We're good.
But when you're forced to wear a mask, how good are people behind
People
the
are
mask?
inherently good.
Yeah. I
If
wanted.
they're- if humans are good or bad, if you have to
Oh,
ask the question like that
So
binary.
I want to quote one more comment because you're talking about humans again, right? And he said, John Smith, who's won before, I think that's kind of Producers Club protecting the Producers Club, as you were saying earlier this week. How's a human being illegal just for existing and then attempting to pursue happiness?
Yeah, I like that. I like that statement. No human is illegal.
That's right.
And,
human is illegal.
yeah, and applied to the immigration debate, they say no human is illegal. It's like you can illegally trespass, but you can't be somewhere as a human that's public property or public space that you don't have a right to be as a human. If it's unclaimed land, if it's genuinely public space, or it's roadways, it's infrastructure like that, it's ways to travel, then every human being on earth has a right to be there. And you have no right to keep someone off land that you don't own.
Mm-hmm.
And governments don't own shit. Fuck them.
Oh, and you know what? You've Been Trolled had another one too. I want to tell you because it was good, and I had that one pulled up, and now there's been too many more comments that I can't find it. But it was about I don't care if we live on Mars, the moon, or Uranus. I want to live in a place where we have the least amount of government. So I liked that statement too. But I'm trying to find that. Yeah, thank you.
It's a beautiful sentiment, but I will say that is an oversimplification of libertarianism, and well, not an oversimplification, but it's missing an important nuance of it. And it's a way that a lot of libertarians get obsessed with statism as the sole metric of quality of life, right? And it's like, no, if you think about what is statism in pertinence to your personal freedom, your life, it's where are you being threatened with violence and doing what you want to do, right? And how are you being affected by that violence being applied to others and people around you? And there's no way to escape it in the world. We all live in a less vibrant world every time something unethical happens, because it reduces the value, the quality and quantity of value in the world, because instead of resources and human energy going to pursue creation and creation of a better life, creating goods and services and art and science and breakthrough and ideas and things that people want, instead it's going to attack and defend and to steal. And that sucks for everybody. But when it comes to yourself, like quality of life, what is that statism in effect to you? It's a specific threat, right? Will you live with that threat? And would you rather live on a planet where you're completely alone and deprived of human contact and there's no threat? Like, would you give up all human association like this, to live in a world of zero, coercive threat to you? No, it's not worth it. So it's not the sole metric for quality of life. And it's one very important one. And as libertarians, we want to say it's extremely undervalued and under-recognized, but it's not the measure of quality of life. And we want to maintain our intellectual integrity with not getting carried away with that. And I know it's I'm like giving a serious talk for an offhanded, supposed to be funny comment, but all right, back to the comment.
No step.
Get ready to sign off here.
All right.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
All right, to the next episode happening on Monday. Fina, any final thoughts today?
I want to say one more thing because I don't know if you guys talked about it, but this week we had Trans Visibility Day, and I just wanted to say that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's awareness for a group that is facing challenges not just with cultural but with specific government limitations on their rights, and for raising awareness.
How we
matter
decide
what your-
how to treat each other as human beings is how the least of how we treat each other as human beings is how the best of us are going to be treated if we meet an alien that's a superior race. So think about that.
Let's hope they don't include other animals in their assessment there. But no, for any prosecuted group, regardless of your views on trans issues as a whole, awareness for that group's challenges and having today is certainly raising that awareness. It's good to see that issue is being addressed and talked about. And so, yeah, good news to share.
Appreciate it. We're all human. Love you, Adam. Take care.
All right.
Aloha.
Thank you, Pina. All right, Jim, take us home, brother. That's your cue, producer Jim.
Oh, that's my cue, producer Jim. Usually you give me the cue by mentioning the public Telegram channel, so definitely join in on that, everybody. The public Telegram channel is where it's at. It's a very fun, cool thing to do. So if you want to be cool, like the winner of our contest today, who should email me at jim@thefreedomline.com, you should go to adamversusaman.com at the bottom of the page and do all the things there. Search the shop there, click on Cigar Federation, search some cigars there, use promo code Adam10, go back to the website, search the Patreon, sign up for $50 a month or just $10 a month if you want to have access into the private producers club. Do all the things, adamversusman.com. That's where everything's at. And then after you're done with that, a few things you can't get from adamversusman.com are thecrypto6.com. That's where we're going to help our friends get some legal access so that they can fight the legal battles that they're fighting right now. It didn't share the page, but thecrypto6.com is where that's at. Sorry that StreamYard is being funny and not sharing pages for me right now. And lastly, second to lastly, home, gogreenenergyonline.com. You can see the beautiful turbines like Adam's about to get up there in Gardenia. And speaking of that, you should definitely check out Instagram at the Garden of Freedom, because as soon as those wind turbines go up, you can be certain you'll be seeing a beautifully displayed on Instagram at the Garden of Freedom. So check that out and become involved.
All right. Mwah. Peace and love, y'all. Choose happiness and be excellent to each other.